Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Good morning, Latvia. How are you? You know, it's a brilliant honour to be here, and although it's cold outside, you do give the warmest of receptions, so thank you for that. And it's also great to follow such great speakers and listen to the advice that comes through. And you know, there's so many things I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, you know, we're on the same page. But I spend my life speaking to audiences and helping the small business community, the entrepreneurs. And I know that from your perspective, very often, it's confusing, isn't it? Do you ever get that feeling where you just don't know where to start? It seems like a massive mountain. You doubt yourself. Do you think sometimes that you don't have the skills? Or you don't have the money? Or you don't have the connections? Well, I know it can be challenging, but I want to share some thoughts with you today just to sort of smash that glass ceiling, just to take away those myths. They're not necessarily coming from a college, they come from life experience. And as Steve was saying, I think that the future for all of us is definitely human. My mission is to make business from the heart. So I'll share some ideas with you, and later in the day we'll talk more, and I'd love to answer any questions and help more. But 7 tips for successful entrepreneurs. I thought I'd just give you some ideas. Number 1, inspirational leadership. Echoing some of those thoughts we've just heard, the conglomerates, the multinationals, they're soulless. You, as a buyer, don't necessarily connect with the large conglomerates. They may be convenient, they may be just around the corner, they may have everything under one roof, but there's no soul in them. You don't necessarily feel hooked or attracted to them. Tomorrow's business success will be where you feel a connection to them. In the UK, we have an example that's often quoted, like Richard Branson, the boss behind Virgin. I'm sure you know him. Obviously, he's a global entrepreneur. But what we've got is we've got leaders. Not managers, leaders. People that inspire you. People that set up a business because it came from their heart. It wasn't just a good idea that they went to the bank and said, please give me some money. It was something that was all-consuming for them. They believed in it. They have conviction. They have passion. And I know, I speak to business audiences all the while, and passion's a bit of a buzzword. It trips off the tongue, it's fashionable language, but that's not what passion is it? You know, I'm at seminars and they stood behind the lectern and they're going, we're passionate about our business. That's not passion. Passion is a feeling. You sense it, it comes out, you can't hold it back. But it's attractive, isn't it? If you've got energy, conviction, belief, and another point about raising money, it's about skin in the game. And I often sit on panels of, in England there's a program called Dragon's Den, and investors and wannabe businesses, and we share ideas. And one of the first things that's asked is, what are you doing? You're asking for money, but where's your skin in the game? If you haven't got your skin in the game, why? Because if you don't believe in it enough to put your neck on the line, how am I going to believe in it enough to give you mine? And actually, when you twist it around, the only thing that's going to make you success, if it comes from your heart, if it's something you really believe in, you can inspire people, it oozes out of you, people buy your energy, buy your enthusiasm. Number 1 criteria always is it's got to be in you. And in fact, if you then go for money, we talk about business plans, if you go to a lender and you are absolutely committed, and everything you've done is about your belief and your passion and your inspiration and your leadership, they almost say, well, you can have the money, I don't need to see the figures. Because people lend to people. And in fact, people buy from people. So I'll talk a bit more of that in a minute, but you know, if you want to be a success in business, don't look outside at all the things that could confuse you. Don't look outside at all the college courses that you could learn and all the people that you could copy. Just look inside and do it for you. Total focus, though, is what you need. I know that the world of business is not easy. We've got this shifting technology, we've got shifting politics, we have ever-changing employment demographics, our lives personally go up and down. But like that inspiration, passion, belief that comes from within, if you have that, you are totally focused. And you know, the amazing thing is, in life, you get what you're focused upon. There isn't a magic, it is magic. It's not a secret, although there is a film called The Secret. You may well have heard of that. And a book called The Secret. Have you heard of the law of attraction? Well, in very simple terms, it's about being the right energy to attract what's good for you. And inspirational leaders and large businesses often don't go together, because inspirational mavericks are quirky, as we've just learned. They don't necessarily fill a mold, and I don't want you to. But that focus, if there isn't a plan B, if that focus is absolutely what you believe and you see in your mind, the amazing thing about the universe is it gives it you. And I would give you some tips, and I would say there are things you can do. If you haven't got that belief, but you sort of want to have that belief, just live and breathe. Football is a passion of mine, and my son is a good footballer. But I'll tell you a story, because you know, even at the age of 2 or 3, he had to learn this lesson. And it's about riding a bicycle. Have any of you got children? Or you've had children in the family, seen youngsters? You know, if you're teaching a child to ride a bike, very quick one about focus. My son at the time was about 2.5, and he's a little guy. I mean, he was never a big baby, he's tiny. So he's on this bike, and you know, you're trying to teach a child to ride a bike. If you've ever done it, what you do is you put the child on the bike, and you get his feet on the pedals, and then he's holding the handlebars. And when they've never ridden a bike before, you know, they don't know what to do with the pedals, and they're sort of looking round. So Zachary is on the bike, and he's looking down at his pedals, and he's doing this, looking round. And of course, on a bike, as soon as you move round, your handlebars are moving, and you're all over the shop. And if you're looking down, you crash. So the first thing I had to do was like lift his head up. They're going over there, Zachary. You're going over there, Zachary. And I'm physically holding his head up because he wanted to look at what's going on. And it struck me, you know, that in business, that's what so many business leaders do. And in my humble opinion, it isn't helpful. Don't look down at what's going on. Look up and only focus on where you're going. As soon as I got that message through to my little man, he was riding a bike at 2.5 years of age. As soon as that message comes through to you as an entrepreneur, it's not that you don't have to pay any attention to what's going on, but you know it will go on. People know what they're doing. Look where you're going and lead them. So number 2, absolutely focus on where you're going. But you can't get there without people on your team, and you can't get there without interacting with people if they're to become supply chain or they're to be sales, you know, customers. So you need to be a connector of people. The one thing that's really good that I've learned from just being here a few hours, you're a very warm nation. You're very connected. Now, I don't know how many people you know, but the 6 degrees of separation suggests that in a country of only 2 million or so people, it wouldn't be difficult to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. People don't buy something, they buy someone. And one of the best things you could ever do as an entrepreneur is focus on your people connections. But remember, it's about being genuine, being passionate, coming from the heart, not just knowing people so you can use them. In fact, know people so you can help them. If you live to give, the getting would take care of itself. And if you're a people connector, you will always win. I hear businesses say they're in the B2B, which is business to business game, or in the B2C, which is the business to consumer. In fact, you're all in the P to P, which is people to people. Be a people person. Connect with people, work with people, give to people, grow your network, and concentrate on networking, because people do business with people they like. But if you spend all that time and energy running around, getting to know lots of people, you are going to have energy. In fact, just imagine this for a moment. You're in a room of potential supply chain people, potential customers. You're in a room full of people who might join your team, and you don't know yet how they're thinking or viewing you, but you're looking and thinking, viewing them. And that happens every day. So when you meet somebody, if they're sort of like, low energy, slumped shoulders, tired, does that inspire you to hire them? Does it inspire you to buy from them? No. But if you meet somebody that's alive and fizzing with what they've got, if what they're talking about is obviously in them, does it change how you want to deal with them? See, energy is so key to human interaction. Business is people interacting with people. So energy is so key to business. And if you don't look after your health, you won't be optimizing your chances of success. But here's the thing. Look around the world. The business leaders look after themselves. The successful entrepreneurs, I'm not fattest. I know some people aren't naturally just slim, but there's an element of just look after yourself. And more than your physical body is your mind. Do you feed your mind? And if you feed it, do you feed it stuff that's nourishing for your mind? Do you read inspirational stories? Do you not get involved in negative news or, rubbish on the television? I don't know what your television is, but in the UK, sadly, we have some real stuff. I mean, it's just, sections of the community that live and breathe about negatives like divorce and death and murder and crime. And it's like, what you put in leaves a mark. So put good stuff in. Being fit and healthy is absolute must for an entrepreneur, but it's much more about the mind than the body. Be a learner. Be somebody that's always stretching the mind, because the mind, once stretched, cannot shrink back to its original form. And these are simple things that anybody can do, which leads me to the learning constantly. A study was done in America a few years ago of houses that were worth $1 million or more. And one of the things they found that was in all of those large, successful homes was there are libraries. Libraries. There is no accident there. Success, in financial terms at least, in business and in entrepreneurship, is correlated to your attitude to learning, and reading is an excellent source of learning. You know, being a success is not difficult. We make it harder. But one of the things you can do right now for 10 or 15 pounds or 20 euros, you can go and buy a book where there's somebody's path. And one of the phrases that I use a lot, one of my programs, is success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. In the story of a success will be a clue as to how they got there. If you follow and read and learn and copy and follow and read and learn and adapt and follow and read, you'll get some success. It isn't difficult, guys. And I talk about the real key thing in entrepreneurship, which is the person. And I'm sharing with you the idea of reading and learning. But I'm not saying that it's a good idea to copy what that person did in the way that person did it. You're not that person. You are you. And that is the most magical thing. You see, in this world, we put a price to things. Everything's about price. I'm totally with Steve. It's not about profit. It's about people. The new business, the next 20 years, will be all about people. It's not about large corporations. We're going to stand up, we're going to build our teams, and we're going to stay small. And we're going to say, no, I don't want the poison of the large conglomerate buying me. It isn't. I'm not doing my business for money. I'm doing my business because it's in me, remember? I'm doing my business because I love it. I'm doing my business because I give and I share and I help. By the way, this is you saying this. You're doing your business because you love it. It's not about money. Money is a secondary byproduct. As, again, Steve was saying, if your life is 50, 60 years of work, don't make it feel like work. And, you know, you can't retire because you go stale. So it's about people, and it's about you, and it's about you doing it your way. If I'm going to buy from you, I need to know you. Here's a question. Do you ever buy from somebody you don't like? Would you ever buy from somebody you didn't trust? How can you like and trust me, or how can anyone like and trust you if you don't let you out? The best asset you've got in small business, entrepreneur, or even big business, being hired and recognized, the best asset you've got is you. Tell me what you like. I love my children. I love sport. I care about the world. I don't like abuse of the planet for raping the seas and poisoning the rivers for profit. I don't like the abuse of labor for profit. I just care. Do you? Yeah. You see, when you show me you, you're more attractive. When you let you out, I'm thinking, I could buy from you. But even if I can't buy from you, I like you. I'm going to refer you on to somebody else who can. Business is about people. It's about you. Let you out. Laugh, cry, joke. Share the things you care about. Don't try to be something you're not. And if your business is you and it comes from the heart, it will shine through. Because ultimately, business isn't difficult. The last point, though, which I think is probably very relevant because you're in a very awakening culture and a new culture compared to some of the mindsets in England, at least. You've embraced technology more than most. And I think it's fantastic. But you see, the important thing about technology in a smaller business, in entrepreneur land, it starts with you, and if you're not careful, it ends with you. And you get bogged down with all the stuff to do. And if you don't embrace technology from the day one, you're going to get trapped and swamped and overworked and lose the magic. So systems are critical. And more than that, in the technology age, we've got things like YouTube and the video age. And if people are going to buy people, and if you're going to let you shine, why don't you give me a video? Why don't you show me you? I can tell you loads of stories, we don't have time, but you know, I can tell you stories of people that have gone out and sold £500,000 worth of property to a person that's never met them, but watched 26 of their videos on a YouTube channel and said, I'm coming to buy from you because I like you. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, people are distrusting of the large, the scams that we've heard in the recent years. We've got big business that doesn't care about you. It gets redundancies and it sacks you when you've been squeezed dry. We've got big businesses that change the plans and leave you high and dry, and banks that rip us all off. So we don't want that anymore. But if you use technology, I can see you and I can hear you talking about what matters to you, and at the end of the day, I'll buy from you. So look, I can't spend any longer because time is up. But I want you to just understand one thing. There's never been more money in circulation. Although we've had a recession, there's more money now in this monetary system than there ever has been in history. We've got better technology so you can leverage your time more, and therefore there's never been a better time to get things done and be in business. The only thing that makes a difference is the one thing that you're not bringing forward enough, and that's you. Bring you out. Let your business be from the heart and about people, and don't be afraid to be open, because I'll like it, I'll buy from you, and you'll be a success. Good luck.
Dāmas un kungi, bērns Kench, un, protams, arī jūsu iespēja uzdot pārīti jautājumu. Jā, ir, padodiet mikrofonu, lūdzu. Palūksim dalīties ar padošanu. Lūdzu.
Ļoti labi, paldies. No iedvesmas skaidrs, kad ar smaidu un tādu skaistu prezentāciju var pārdot visu. Jūsu tipāžā bija minēts stāsts, ka kaut ko un daudz var pārdot arī, ja cilvēks raud. Vai jūs varētu par tiem piemēriem, ko ar raudāšanu varētu pārdot daudz?
Paldies. Ben, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Selling your tears, selling crying.
Here's the thing. A very, very true story. I'm in this business now because a very quick pottage history. I left where I was living in Tenerife and Spain, and I went back to the UK, and I set up a business, but I didn't understand the UK business world. I tried for 8-9 months to get my business going. And because I'm a passionate man, I did it from the heart, and it didn't get going. And 9 months later, because I'm a responsible family man, I had to go and put all my stuff in the rubbish bin. And I cried a lot. And in those tears and in that pain, that's what set me on my mission to help small businesses grow, because I don't want anyone to go through that pain. And whether you actually cry or not, the truth is, if you let your emotions out, people see that you're real, and that's why they buy you.
Paldies. Thank you. One more question from the audience. And there should be the last one over there. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, hi. Can you tell me 3 of your favorite books?
Yeah, absolutely. I could give you 20. I mean, I'm a passionate learner.
Oh, you have to prioritize.
Three. Absolute cornerstone books. Not new books, but cornerstone books. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. And because I'm sort of how do you choose another one? But I understand that selling, whatever business you're in, you've got to sell. So I'm really quite passionate about learning about people. So a third book which I'd recommend is The Science and Practice of Influence. The Science and Practice of Influence by Robert Cialdini. C-I-A-L-D-I-N-I. Robert Cialdini.
Thank you. And the last one from the audience.
What if nobody really likes your real you?
Yeah, well, you see, Marmite. I don't know if you have it here. We have a product in the UK which is called Marmite, and you either love it or you hate it. It's like there's no in between. It's a very, look, you know, not everybody likes everybody, but I think the truth of the matter is, if you are genuine and you believe in what you're selling and your business echoes truth, if your business echoes trust, if it's helping people, not just raping profits, then it's not about the person, it's about the entity. And if your business follows with your principle of humanity and all those things, that it's not about what you do in your spare times, it's just, can they trust you? And they will probably like the business and trust you and say, well, I don't want to spend every evening with the man, but I'm happy to buy.
Kench.
Cheers.